Hey guys, so today's Wednesday the 20th, and here's a rundown of today's lesson. So we're going to be talking about evaluating expressions today. So you'll need your journal, pencil, glue, and a highlighter. Oh, and scissors. Sorry, forgot to put scissors on there because you're going to be cutting your notes. SCISSORS. Okay, and we're going to be talking about evaluating expressions. So let's get started. So I have my journal already out, and get your notes out that look like this. Okay, and you're going to cut them into 3 pieces, putting them into 3 pieces. So cut right here on this dotted line. Okay, and then I'm going to cut right here on this dotted line. So you'll have 3 pieces of notes, and then I'm just going to cut this excess off and throw it away. All right, and we're going to rearrange them into our journal. So the top part with the date is going to go on the top left like normal. I'm going to grab my glue stick, get that glued in. Okay, and then underneath here, we're going to take that question that looks like a paragraph right here. We're going to glue that in next. So I'm going to glue that right underneath there. Okay, and then you're going to flip the page over, and you're going to glue those, I believe there's 6 questions on the top of the right page of your journal, because we're going to show some work there. There's not enough work here, or not enough space here to show work, so moved it over to the next page. So let's talk about evaluating expressions. Okay, so today's 1/20/2021, and evaluating expressions. Recall that an algebraic expression contains one or more variables. You can substitute. So the key word here, grab your highlighter, is substitute a number for a variable. So a number for a variable, and then find the value of that expression. This is called evaluating the expression. So it's called evaluating. So think of evaluating like solving. Let's solve it. Okay? So when you're evaluating expressions, they give you the number for the variable. Okay? You don't have to come up with one. They're going to give you one. Now, when we get into module 12 and talk about solving equations, that's when we need to find the variable. But right now, they're giving a variable to us, and we just have to plug it in and solve it. So the first one here is x minus 9 if x is 15. So they're going to give you the number 15 that they want you to put in for x. You substituted 15 there, and then you solve. So 15 minus 9 gives me 6. So my answer there would be 6. I'm going to go down to the bottom one. So 16 divided by n, when n is 8. So I'm going to take this 8, and I'm substituting it where I see n. So then 16 divided by 8 gives me 2. So my answer would be 2. All right, here, this one is 4 times, open parentheses, x minus 4 if x is 7. So I'm taking that 7. They took the 7 and they substituted it wherever they saw it. Now, they could substitute 1 place, 2 places. They may have several variables in there and different ones that you substitute for. You just have to remember to substitute the right number in the right spot. Okay? So 7 minus 4 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So if x is equal to 7, 4 times x minus 4 will be 12. Okay? However, here is another one. It kind of looks the same, but will evaluate the same. So x is equal to 7. So that's 4 times 7, which is 28. And 28 minus 4 gives me 24. Right? So when x is equal to 7, 4x minus 4 is equal to 24. Okay? Now let's practice with some of these questions here. All right, so number 4 is 3n plus 1. Okay, so 3, open parentheses, n plus 1. Okay, and I'm just going to rewrite them all down here. So 5 open parentheses, number 5 is 4 open parentheses n minus 4 plus 14. Number 6 is 6n plus n squared. Okay, now I just rewrote them so I had some room. Now I'm going to substitute 5 for wherever I see n. So I see 3 open parentheses, so I see an n, so I'm going to put 5 plus 1 close parentheses. Okay, number 5, okay, I have a 4 open parentheses, there's an n, so I'm going to put a 5 right there, minus 4 close parentheses plus 14. All right, and finally number 6, I have 6. N is right next to it, which means to multiply, so I'm going to put an open parentheses and put 5 in there, plus 5, and then squared. Okay, and I kind of color coordinated it so you can see where I put the variables, where I put what the number for the variable that they gave me. Okay, so when you have it like this, still order of operations apply. So you need to do what's in parentheses first. So 5 plus 1 gives me 6. So I'm going to drop down a 6. And then I'm going to put 3 right next to it. And that means I need to multiply. So 3 times 6 gives me 18. So if n is equal to 5, my answer would be 18. Okay, let's look at number 5. All right, again, I'm going to do what's in parentheses. So 5 minus 4 gives me 1. I'm going to bring down a 1, and then I'm bringing down everything I have not done yet. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that little interruption. Let's get back to it. Okay, so I solved what's in parentheses. I brought everything down. Now I need to go to my second step. So 4 times 1 with the order of operations, I need to do that next. So that would be 4 plus 14. Just brought that down, and then I need to solve this. 4 plus 14 gives me 18 again. Okay, and finally, let's look at number 6. So in number 6, I need to do no parentheses, so I need to do this exponent. So 5 squared. 5 squared gives me 25. So that's 5 times 5, which is 25. So I'm going to put 25 right down there. And I'm going to bring everything else down. Okay. Now I have the 6 times 5. That gives me 30. So then I have 30 and 25, and I need to add them together. All right, and 30 plus 25 gives me 55, and that is my final result. That's what I get when I evaluate it. Okay, so easy enough. Think of it as plugging your stuff in and solving for when it becomes your problem. I mean, when you get everything plugged in, then solve it using order of operations. All right, so that's 4, 5, 6. Oh, we have 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so with 7, 8, and 9, guys, they don't just give you one variable, they've given you 3. And you need to get used to this because this is something you'll learn that you'll still keep saying next year in 7th grade, 8th grade, and into high school. They're going to give you multiple variables, and you need to figure out what it would be, okay, when you're evaluating, right? So that's number 6. Let's look at number 7. Number 7 is A, B minus C. Number 8 is B, C plus 5A. And number 9 is A squared minus open parentheses B plus C. Now, what they've done is they've given you what A, B, and C are. So you have to plug them in. So I just rewrote them, and we're plugging them in. And remember, when they're side by side, that means to multiply. We're not just saying, oh, well, that's a 3. And that's a 4. That's 34. It's not. It's 3 times 4 minus a negative 6. Okay? All right, now I'm going to plug them in, my numbers in for number 8. So B is 4, C is -6, plus 5 times A, which is 3. And I'm putting the numbers in parentheses just to say, hey, it's not 53, it's 5 times 3. So I'm just kind of like giving it like a little bubble. Give it its own little bubble right there. All right, and number 9, we have A squared, and A is 3, so that's 3 squared minus, open parentheses, B is 4 plus -6. All right, so let's go ahead and solve this. So order of operations says I need to do anything in parentheses. Nope. Exponents, nope. Multiply or divide. Well, I have this multiplying question right here, which is 3 times 4, which gives me 12. And then I have minus and -6. Okay? Now remember, when I subtract a negative, I add its opposite. So I'm going to come add its opposite. That's my rule. So 12 plus 6 gives me a total of 18. So when I evaluated it, I got another 18. All right, let's look at number 8. So BC plus 5A is 4 times -6 plus 5 times 3. So order of operations says I need to multiply first. So I'm going to take this multiplication problem and do this first. So 4 times -6 gives me a -24. Plus, now I'm just going to do 5 times 3, which gives me 15. Okay, now I need to think about my integer rules. So when I add different signs, I subtract. So 24 minus 15 gives me 9. And I have more negative than positive, so my answer would be -9. All right, finally, number 9. So order of operations states I need to do what's in parentheses first. So 4 plus a -6. Okay, again, adding different signs. So I subtract, so I'm left with a -2. I'll put that in parentheses. And then I'm bringing everything I have not done down. Okay, so now I have 3 squared. Okay, that's 3 times 3, which gives me 9. Minus a -2. Okay, and I have subtracting a negative. Remember, when I subtract a negative, I add its opposite. So 9 plus 2, 9, 10, 11. My answer would be 11. Okay, so do you see, I kind of made sure I try to color coordinate, guys, so you can see the numbers, where they go, and then when you solve it, you would get one answer at the end. Okay, now let's turn to back to the front page, to that word problem that we have. Okay, it says the expression 6x squared gives surface area of a cube, and the expression x cubed gives the volume of a cube. Where x is the length of one side of a cube, find the surface area and volume of a cube with a side of 2 meters. So they've given you what they want the length to be. They've also given you your 2 equations, one for surface area and one for volume. Now, you've done volume in science. Okay, you've done volume of a rectangular prism, but we're talking about a cube here. And a cube, we're going to draw, I'm going to attempt to try to draw, is 1 square. And then you have another square kind of on top of it, and then you connect the points. So remember, a cube is like a dice. Well, it is a dice. And all sides are the same. So all sides would be 2 meters. Okay? Even though it doesn't look like it, it will be. Okay? So my surface area formula is 6x squared. And my volume is x cubed, because we have 3-dimensional, our volume is a 3-dimensional shape. That's what we're looking at, volume of a 3-dimensional shape. So let's start off with the surface area. So surface area is equal to 6 times x. Well, they said that the length would be 2, so that would be 2, and we would square it. Okay? So my volume, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to rewrite it just like I did in my other ones, would be 2 cubed. All right? So I'm going to do volume first, okay? Because that's just one operation. I'm cubing 2. So that is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 gives me 8. So this would be 8 meters cubed. Okay? Because this 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2 in expanded form. All right, let's look over here. So with order of operations, I need to do this exponent first before multiplying. So 2 squared, well, that will give me 4. Okay, so I'm going to bring a 4 down, and I bring my 6 down with it. It's equal to my surface area. And 6 times 4, that gives me 24. And I have 24 meters squared. Because I'm talking about surface area. I'm talking about area, which is a 2-dimensional shape. So that's why it would have a 2. Okay, think if I took this and I folded it out and made it a flat surface, that would be the area. That would be the surface area. Okay, another way you can think of this is like wrapping paper. If I put wrapping paper all the way around it, it would be the surface area. So that does it for me today. Make sure you are checking your Google Classroom. You have 11.2 as your homework, and it's basically the same thing here. You have 1 through 11. The last 3 problems you will not be having for my class. For Miss Peeler, please make sure you're checking in her Google Classroom. So that does it for me today. Have a wonderful day and see you later.